Hello, my name will be Smug,
And my name's gonna be Frost
and this is going to be Aggressively Average, where we try our hardest and put in all of our effort to be mediocre at best.
because let's be honest, if we're trying our hardest and we don't hit those high areas, we can just be like, well, we weren't ever trying to hit those, be the best anyways. We're just trying to be mediocre. So we kind of put ourselves in a position where we can't lose.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you didn't get top 10 at that last tournament you were at.
No, no, I didn't. I didn't because I'm
We-
bad.
you're
You know,
mediocre, yeah.
that was actually, if you think about it, that was a pretty mediocre.
Yeah.
That was a pretty mediocre finish.
Yeah.
I think it was yeah, it was not top 10.
So, we're going to get back to focus because we're so good at staying on topic. This is our intro episode. This is kind of our game plan with this episode, just so that way we're not clickbaiting anybody, is what the goals with the channel we're making is and what you all should expect from us.
So just a little background on us. Smug and I have been friends for a while. And one of the biggest things that I mean, I don't know. I think definitely. Well, we started with D&D together, right? If I remember, that was like
Well, the way that I got introduced to you is our buddy opened up by saying, in the middle of summer, when me and him hadn't talked for like 3, 4 weeks, was, I got another one. And I said, what? And he said, a plastic crackhead. And then I was like, which ones? And he said, the Gold Boys. And then from there, I think we started playing D&D together. And then I kept ditching on you on TTS like every other
hey,
week.
but you know what? We were both in school at the time, so that makes sense. But if I remember correctly, right? I think our first time that we had talked was for that same friend's 21st birthday party.
Oh, whenever he spilled whiskey on his
Yes,
laptop.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and it ended up bricking it. Yeah, that was. I
Yeah.
think that was the first time.
Oh, that was the first time me and you actually talked. That's right, yeah. But as to how we got into Warhammer, um, I got into Warhammer because I got recommended to watch something called the All Guardsmen podcast, which, as that being my genuine first understanding of, hey, this is Warhammer, I had no idea what Warhammer was other than cracked up guardsmen trying to take on things that they couldn't. And then I started learning more, and I found out that's literally just what Warhammer
And then
is.
I believe. So I got into it. I got into it a little bit earlier than you, but then you actually recommended it to me, and then I ended up watching or listening to. I guess it was kind of a storytelling kind of thing. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. It's great. I don't know how many episodes there
It's
are.
so
There's a
good.
lot.
I think
Yeah,
49, and they're like 3 5 hours
yeah, it's
each.
um, it's it's a long time, but if you're ever just like painting or just like studying or doing whatever you need, put something on in the background. And actually, I think it was pretty well written. I mean, I think it was just like that one guy doing it.
Well, no, it was a D&D. It was essentially a D&D campaign that one of the dudes literally just wrote down as if a bard was
Oh,
rolling
I
the
didn't
entire
know
time.
that.
And like, yeah. Yeah, the narrator was essentially somebody in the group that was playing with
Oh, that
them.
makes it so much better.
Was Yeah. No, like all of the people that were there, they played different characters. Like Nubby was a human
Oh my
being
god,
piloting that. Twitch was a person.
that's incredible. So if you guys haven't seen it, check it out. It's pretty great. Especially if you're like a if you don't want to get into and they actually maintain a lot of the lore accuracies. And what I was going to get at is if you don't want to get into like the books,
They're more lore accurate
I
than
mean, they keep
GW.
it. I mean, at least they're consistent.
Yeah.
Oh man. But anyways, so I got into Warhammer actually with the Dawn of War series. It was Dawn of War 2 Retribution. Is what really got me into. And I remember when I was really young, I think I must have been in elementary school, and I was hanging out with one of my friends, and his brother was playing the original Dawn of War, and I couldn't play it because it was rated M. And I just remember one time in middle school, and I finally got like my first computer, and it was in my room, and I had Steam. I think Dawn of War 2 went on sale for like $5 or something like that, and I was like, run down the stairs to my parents, and I said, "Hey, can I like buy something?" on Steam, and they're like, "What's Steam?" So I had to explain what that was, and then once I explained it, they're like, "Yeah, sure." And so I started playing it, and then I was like, "What in the world is this? Like, all this stuff just seems so over the top, and so like it just seems so like, I mean, for lack of a better word, it just seems epic slash sick." And I'm like, I don't know what any of these people are doing. And then you get the game, you play it, you can play all the different factions. It was like you had Tyranids, Space Marines, Eldar, Orcs, Chaos, and was there? I don't remember if there was another one.
Tau? There was
So
Tau,
there
weren't
was Tau, but that was a DLC called The Last Stand for the game, and you could basically pick a hero. And there was also a Necron, like Lord, that you could pick, and so it was like a almost like, I don't want to say League of Legends because that's like a horrible equivalent, but it's essentially like each of you just control the character, and then you'd have like waves of enemies that came, and then like you'd have to like do certain things like in this arena. So kind of.
Would you perhaps call it an RTS? You know, the
Well,
genre of the game? I got started, it was 2019. 5 years, 5 years.
so did my research on this one.
8th edition was ended in 2019, I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, that would have been coincided perfectly when I started kind of getting into it.
Ninth
But
edition came out October 2020. So yeah, I've got like half a year of 8th edition in, and then we started kicking in with ninth edition.
Yeah, and I remember even watching it back then, and kind of like the big change going from like blast templates, and there was so much uproar. And this is coming from someone who I didn't even own models, didn't even play the game, but I just like watched people play it because I loved it so much. Because I'm just like, oh man, I want to get into this. But when of course you're like in middle school, high school, you're like, I don't know how I'm supposed to bring this up to my friends, like and explain this to them. So just kind of kept it on under wraps. Because oh yeah, because it's like, so what? I was playing football. I was in the orchestra as well. I played double bass. Yeah, it's like you hard to sometimes explain this ridiculous franchise to to some people who have never heard of it. That that being said, I did try.
So then also what you should expect from the channel and with me and Frost here, we're not here to give you the minutia. We're not one, that's already taken. Thank you, Auspex. You're a hero. Um and second, we're just here to give our thoughts, think of our funny ideas, and that kind of jazz.
When we said that we are mediocre, right? Like, if you're coming here to be like, I'm going to learn how to play, Vanguard Spearhead Marines at a frame perfect, like, way, it'd be like hey, wrong channel.
Wrong.
Wrong. We're the wrong. You do not want to trust us with that stuff.
We will lie. We plan on lying.
Yeah, I will give you bad information potentially, or information that I think is good, and it's like someone would be like, "Dude, why would you ever do that?" I'm like, I don't know. I'll fuck around.
Yeah. Dude, I'm letting you know, like, we are a TO's worst nightmare because we genuinely believe every single one of our lives.
I mean, I try. That being said, we don't do it purposefully.
We're not evil, we're just stupid.
No, that's actually a perfect way to describe it.
One of the goals that we're trying to do is build a community of people who like, obviously, the hobby. We want everybody here to, if not participate, at least be able to enjoy from the sidelines.
Yeah, I think it's important for people, especially now, because when COVID hit, Games Workshop, I don't remember what the exact number was, but
Blew up. They got
it
so
was something like almost like
much.
a 50% or maybe even like 80% increase in revenue. And so,
Editor, put that in. Editor, put that in.
yeah,
Put the stocks in.
just put the green arrow going up. But in all seriousness, I mean, when we were all stuck back in our homes, like there wasn't a whole lot you could do. So you started looking up. It's like, well, what are some hobbies that I can do that don't require me to go outside? And Warhammer was that for a lot of people. So during 8th edition, the game already kind of I don't want to say dumbed down, got watered down from seventh because that's when you had your blast templates and all that stuff. And if you got into the game in eighth edition, or if you've never played Heresy, which I highly recommend, by the way, if you can get a group together, or
I don't.
oh,
I don't.
that, that's fair. If you don't like Marines versus Marines, you may not like Heresy, but I will say each of the Marine legions really, truly do feel like a really, really unique faction.
If you want a space opera, just go watch Star Wars. We
Yeah,
don't need
that's
that
a good point.
Warhammer.
If you've ever read the Heresy books, there's a lot of them. And they're very long. But it got really, really large. So you have this community that kind of got this massive influx of people, and Games Workshop has been going on since the 80s, and that's just something that we both found out just by being in the hobby now for, I guess now that I think about it. But we're here to kind of take it from a maybe casual is not the best way, but we're here for fun, right? Like there's a lot of really great people out here who are making great videos on like tactics and whatever, and great lore videos that are super down to the wire. But that's not going to be us. Not in a bad way. It's just
If we start talking about lore, I'm gonna fist fight you.
That's exactly what I mean.
Like, the lore, it's delightful. It's so stupid. It makes for a wonderful world for the dumbest things imaginable to happen. We both have very wild, different understandings of the lore in this when it's just spelled out plainly. We're not the lore understanding guys. Like you've got Luton, you've got Auspex Tactics, you've got Adeptus Ridiculous. We're just two dudes.
Two dudes who are just aggressively average in all things in life.
Mediocre at best.
Mediocre at best. But what we really want to do here is take our kind of like fun things that we think about. I mean, I know we'll give you a little spoiler for one of the episodes that are coming up, but we want to one of the episodes that we're going to be doing is how did we get to the point where a unit has 4 defensive abilities, stuff like that.
I think that's the gist of it. Oh, we should probably mention the armies we play.
Oh, that is actually a good point. Yeah, I don't know how we got this far in without saying that.
Yeah. I play Tyranids and dwarves. They're my little friends. If dwarves existed when I got started, I would have started with dwarves. Dwarves have no lore. Their only named character isn't that interesting right now. They have no books as of the recording of this episode, and they are incredibly specific in how you can play them on tabletop. But they have grudges. And I love the idea of just some people being so angry that they write your name in a book, and 30 generations later, they come to your, like, children and say, what's good? And that's it. You're done. I think that's hilarious. And then I play Space Bugs, because Apex Predators are so cool. Also an army with no lore. I wonder if that's my theme. The only thing I know, like lore-wise, truly and solely about the Votann is the World Eaters messed with them in a war, and Uthar, the named character, was just like, wait guys, let's not be the dumbest things imaginable. And then all of the other dwarves were like, whoa, and they won.
To be fair, that is big. In Warhammer.
That is big.
That is big.
For Warhammer, yeah.
That's
he
big.
is the destined. He is the destined.
He has a brain.
Yeah.
But,
you can see it through his skull on the model.
I play Custodians and I play Blood Angels, specifically Lamenters, because I like pain. Because I also painted a white army as my first army. Custodians, I got white Custodians. Call them the sugar-free Red Bull army because they're like white. They're like white and like, oh god, what would that color be? Teal?
They're like a blue.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of different shades of blue, but I mean, technically they're not
like
silver.
Like the blue, like the tip of a Vaseline jar.
Oh, yeah. We'd love to know what armies you play in the comments, so hit us up. Hopefully you guys are Imperium lovers. So how often will you guys expect to hear from us? We are planning on doing weekly releases. For a while, it's just going to be very similar episodes to this. We're just going to be sitting and talking. And it's going to be on like a myriad of topics. We already touched upon them earlier, but it's going to be anything from like our funny ideas to about like we got a good video coming out about like about combat patrols, stuff like that. Little bit of like meta stuff and kind of a little bit of history of Warhammer, but not in the lore sense. We're talking about the game history. I think the like the rules and stuff is kind of an interesting thing that not a lot of people really talk about, like how we arrived to like the current meta and stuff. But that was the plan. So if that's something that we're interested in or that you're interested in, we would love to have you guys tag along. And I don't know if there's if I'm sure I'm missing something, Smug.
Well, we've got the first 11 episodes planned. This one not being a part of that list. So as a little sneak peek, we've got the Making Combat Patrols Worse, which is something that we are both very excited about. We're doing a little bit of Poorhammer with that, but evil, where we're picking a few factions and we're picking their combat patrols, and instead of making it better, we're trying to figure out what is the way that we could make this the worst possible, like, combat patrol for the faction while sticking to the rules of Poorhammer or sticking to similar rules like that. So that's something that we've got cooking that I'm excited about.
That'll be a good
Fun.
episode. Right now, it's a big rage that combat patrols are getting
Oh,
worse.
it's not even that much of a rage. They're genuinely worse. Like every single one, every single aspects. Like, yeah, this combat patrol has actually gotten worse for points and money again. GW. I'm I'm not a hater, but I'm concerned.
So if you're interested in that, tune in for that episode. But we're glad that you guys sat through here and listened to us talk. We're really excited to make some videos. I mean, this is the big passion project for us both because we both really love Warhammer, and we'd love to hear your guys' opinion on it, how you guys got into the hobby, what armies you play, and we'd love for you to guys to continue watching us.
So I think with that, we'll roll credits.
All right, see you guys. Hopefully, you have a great day.